So this is a continuation of Assassin's Creed 3, and this is the part 4. I went over the previous video before today, and apparently this game doesn't have a difficulty settings for when you first start playing the game. I was looking for it in the options menu and other parts within the game. You can't scale the difficulty at the beginning, or you can't pick the difficulty at the beginning. It only has one difficulty at the beginning, and I'm pretty sure once you beat the game, it'll give you harder difficulty. Or maybe in this game, the difficulty scales per the level you go. Whenever you complete a mission, the difficulty scales. So it's not like you could choose the option of increasing the difficulty once you start. It really starts off from just one difficulty. Um, so yeah, that I completely forgot that with regards to the original Assassin's Creed and even this one. So that's something that might not be flavorful towards everyone else. But I said the same thing with regards to Evil Within 2. That game only had, I believe, two modes: the normal and the difficult mode, and every other mode, or easy and normal mode, and every other mode I had to unlock later on. This one only has one mode, um, which is the normal mode, and I guess other difficulty modes is going to be unlocked later on. So I'll just play this game. I just had found that disappointing. When I first started to play this game, I thought I would be able to increase the difficulty. So if that's not something that you're into, you want like an extremely difficult challenge on your very first playthrough, this ain't that game. That said, that doesn't mean that this is by any means a bad game because you can't increase difficulty on your first playthrough. It just means this is a scaling game. It's not like certain games you could just pick up the difficulty and heart rate ratings as you go along. This is more like the difficulty will scale by the percentage of completion of the story. I'm at 5% completion with regards to the frontier, 5% of the overall game, which means as I get further into the game, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, all 55 to about 60. That's when the enemies are really going to get super hard. So the game is being forgiving at the beginning. Sort of easy, but it's increasing the difficulty because that's what Assassin's Creed is. It's not like certain games like a Dark Souls game where all the enemies are strong from the get-go and you are weak and you have to get stronger. No, all enemies and yourself are basically, or should I say, you are stronger than your enemies, and the game has to increase its strength in order to match yours and then go beyond yours. And once it gets to the halfway point, you then have to increase your strength to go beyond the enemies, if that makes any sense. So this is that type of game. If you don't understand that type of game, you won't get it. So I'll explain it again. When you first start an Assassin's Creed game or games like this, you always seem to be stronger than the beginning level enemies, like Final Fantasy VII, because they give you that advantage at the beginning that you are stronger than your standard enemies. And as you go along, you can still beat them, but as you're progressing slowly, they are slowly increasing and getting towards your level of strength. So as you're progressively getting strong, the enemies are also progressively getting stronger. And sometimes they double up per the level. So if you're in a section where the enemies are double per that level, your progression towards getting strong enough to fight in that level is slower than the enemies who are progressively stronger in that area or in that level area, so on and so forth. So when you go from one area to the next area, the enemy level has doubled, even though you're from by the time you get to the finish from the first area, you haven't doubled in your strength yet, but you're beyond those in that level because your increase towards your strength is a gradual one, while enemies within certain areas have double up in strength level, if that makes sense. And they are also progressively getting stronger per that level area once you complete that level area. So that's how Assassin's Creed is. It's fair for you at the beginning, but as you go further, it starts to balance that fairness out with regards to the enemy and with regards to you. And eventually the enemy is beyond your strength, and now you have to play catch up. Rather than from the beginning, they have to catch up to you, or the areas for which they're in are giving to you. They're forgiven, or you are forgiven, and they're given. The area is giving you that forgiveness, but the next era gives you that balance with regards to forgiveness is equal and plain. But the next era is it's not forgiving. It gives the enemy that little bit of advantage. And in the next era, the enemy has more advantage than you, so you then start to struggle to get to that enemy area level. So that's how Assassin's Creed is. So if anyone starts the game and says, well, this game is easy, it's a scaling game. The enemies are scaled, or the level areas are double in strength per each enemy types. Very much like Witcher 3. It's very much like Witcher 3. When you see it's very much like Witcher 3. Like Witcher 3, when you see certain enemies have like this huge skull up above their heads, it means that in that area, the enemy in that area, even if those enemies in that area are within a weak area, those enemies within that demographic area, within that box set area, are beyond your strength. You have to increase your strength to get to their strength. So that's how this game goes. There are certain enemies in certain areas that are beyond your strength, or in this game, unlike Witcher, there are certain enemies within each section of the story that are stronger than you. The 5% enemies are stronger than 1% enemies of the beginning of the story. The 20% enemies are far stronger than the 5% enemies of the story, and thus you have to slowly get strong enough in order to fight them. So that's what this game is. So if you're ever interested in purchasing this game, it's who of you to know this. It's not an easy game. It's just forgiving at the beginning until you get to the halfway point. So it's only easy if you're not trying to make yourself it's only easy if you're making yourself stronger by grinding. It's not easy if you just go through the story, because then it will try to balance it off. It's also easy if you're spending a vast amount of money with regards to resources and stuff in order to give yourself the advantage. But the game is trying to be fair. This is not the hardest game, but it's not easy in the sense of it's easy. The QTEs aren't easy. They're easy at the beginning, and the enemy level will scale by the time you get to the halfway point, for the point that you will die a lot. At least I remember that from the original Assassin's Creed.
You try my patience, woman! You try my patience, woman!
Are you touched in the head?
Me, Hatham. I come in peace.
Why are you speaking so slow?
Sorry.
What do you want?
Well, your name, for one.
I'm Gadzit Zio.
Pleased to meet you. God's day.
Just call me Zio.
Dio.
Zio.
Dio.
Now tell me why it is you're here. Where did you get this?
From an old friend.
I've only seen such markings in one other place.
Where?
Well, it is forbidden for me to speak of it.
I saved your people. Does this mean nothing to you? Look, I am not the enemy.
Close to here, there is a hill. Meet me there, and we'll see if you speak the truth. That town hosts soldiers who seek to drive my people from these lands. They're led by a man known as the Bulldog.
Edward Braddock.
You know him?
He is no friend of mine.
Every day, more of my people are lost to men like him.
Then I suggest we put a stop to it. Together.
What do you propose?
That we kill Edward Braddock. But first, we have to find him.
I don't trust you.
I know.
Yet you remain.
That I might prove you wrong.
It will not happen.
So you say.
So I know.
Yet, I remain. Wait here. A Mohawkman is likely to raise suspicions, if not muskets.
This is hardly the first time I've been amongst your people. I can handle myself.
I hope so.
I hear tell the French are readying to move on our positions. Wonder what Braddock intends to do about it.
He's already left for the advance camp. I'll wager our little holiday here is just about ended. We'll be marching south before week's end.
Can't stand being quartered there. The endless crashing of the waves. The sting of the salt in my eyes. And the goddamn gulls shrieking and shitting everywhere.
You're sure that's where we're going?
Aye. The Bulldog's putting together another expedition.
That's what they're calling them now. Expeditions.
Aye. Smart too. Slap a fancy name on something and all evil is excused.
Oi! Where you going, Cully?
Me?
No, the other cock Robin.
Well, I was leaving.
Oh? And now?
Well, now... I'm going to feed you your teeth.
And you were worried I was going to be the problem? You're hurt.
Oh, it's nothing.
Here. This should stop the bleeding.
That wasn't necessary. But thank you.
We should move on. Meet me at Braddock's camp when you're ready.
So it's it's not entirely like Witcher 3. Witcher 3 you could just hunt anything and use its meat, even things that you're not supposed to hunt. You could use the meat from those things as well. Oh, another thing you might not like is after every battle, his health goes back up. So if you manage to like either escape battle by running or defeat any enemies after the battle, his health goes right back up, which is not really good for logic with regards to being in combat and getting damage. So this game might not be for everyone, even though, like I said, these aren't exactly the strong enemies in the game. But you get to like the 25%, 30% marker, that's when the difficulty really ramps up.
Sup, Mahid?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, today might be a silent one, mostly. But it's an interesting game, very interesting. I haven't got to the difficulty ports yet. I'm not even at the 25% based on what the story says. I'm just at the 6% marker. I was curious why the enemies are so easy to kill. It's because they aren't even strong enough yet. They're not. I'm not even at the 25, not even at the 15% marker yet within the game. That means this is going to be a long game. But today is not going to be entirely Assassin's Creed. I haven't been on Warframe for like 3 days, so today is going to be mostly Assassin's Creed and Warframe day, not just Assassin's Creed. I play this for about 2 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's only 6% since I started. It really is crazy. You feel like it's been more than that, but based on this game, this is a long game. This is going to be a long game, and I'm just at 60%, and I already have 3 videos. This is going to be a long one. I completely forgot how long Assassin's Creed were. I think Assassin's Creed is equally as long as Witcher games. And Witcher games are long.
Use the snowstorm to mask your approach.
Oh yeah, if you notice on the front cover of the Assassin's Creed 3 game, there's just a guy. They're showing the guy who's the assassins. Because this game is so long, I think Hathaway, the guy I'm playing right now, is just part of that story. As I get probably to the halfway point, I'm probably gonna play that as that original guy from Assassin's Creed 1 or a different type of assassins. So it makes sense that they would showcase that assassin as the front cover. I think I'm only at Hathaway's section with regards to the story. I haven't actually gotten to the main guy yet of the story. Miles, he transitions from different assassins. He's actually in the body of Hathaway, who existed during colonial times now. So he's basically kind of did the whole Warframe transference thing into this guy who existed back in the 18th century. So even though he's seeing things through the eyes of Hathaway, which is actually the dude that exists during this time, he knows what he knows, but he's not really Hathaway. I'm actually Hathaway. But Miles is seeing the events through Hathaway's eyes. So that's the weird part about Assassin's Creed game. You're playing your body and your motion, and you're killing the enemies and defending is what you're doing from the modern times, but you're actually letting the NPC that is Hathaway do his job within the world that he existed during that time period. It's very strange. So Hathaway is not like a Warframe. Hathaway's a real person, but it's kind of like Miles is riding horseback or shotgun, seeing the events as they play out. It's fun.
Wow, that's crazy.
Having second thoughts?
I can hide in that cart.
What's in the wagon? I need a full inventory.
As you wish. Let's see. 2 barrels of salt, 12 pounds pork, 10 pounds beef, 7 dozen eggs, 16 wheels of cheese. None of it French, don't worry. 5 bottles of whiskey, couple dozen new uniforms, boots, and leather for patching, blankets, a cart feed for the horses. What else? That's it? That's all there
Imagine
is?
playing a game for 5 weeks and 1%.
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Good thing they didn't check cart.
General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George?
Bro blind.
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict. One in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it.
Okay, so this
Those
game is
cannons are like to cause trouble.
there's a weird thing in this game which you would call equivalent to that of dying in a Dark Souls game over and over again. When you fail an objective or a side optional objective that's attached to the main game, it's equivalent to getting killed in a mission or dying over and over again. So if you fail at it, you could consider that like getting falling off of a large chapel in Elden Ring or in Bloodborne, or getting skewered or something like that. Or because you're not going to start dying a lot yet until you get to strong enemies. So at the beginning portion, it's more about dying with regards to completing an objective. So every time the image glitches or the screen glitches out, its synchronization failed because you're unable to do what Hathaway did in sync with Hathaway from the past. So it's equivalent to dying or failing.
Perhaps I could sabotage them.
General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
It's almost Christmas. What you going to do for this holiday?
Standard stuff for Christmas. Oh shit, they're talking.
Solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay inevitable conflict.
Christmas tree.
One in which they now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he?
A little bit of drinking.
It doesn't sit well with me.
No offense.
Shit. Yeah,
Bro, you really wanna get drunk?
Those cannons are like to cause trouble.
not really.
Perhaps
I only
could
drink
sabotage them.
only drink on special occasions. I'm not really a drinker. I believe it's appropriate for the type of situation.
General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic
But the standard
solution
is,
Drag bodies.
yeah, you could drag bodies.
retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict, one in which they now have the upper hand.
You
There's
could
merit
loot,
to
you could
those
drag
words,
bodies the whole
as much
night.
as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't sit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the bulldog wanted to prove a point.
Where is the general now?
Can you dress yourself as guard?
Gone to Fort Duquesne, I assume.
Eventually, the march
Yes, you could also dress yourself as a guard,
give the plans in the command tent should you wish to review them.
At least this
but
will be ended
it's
soon.
after
I tried.
accomplishing
I know,
a
my
goal.
friend. I know.
Shit. Yeah, so the standard would be just the Christmas tree,
cannons
and the standard would be just the Christmas tree and drinking when it's appropriate, and presents, the same thing that typical Americans do. The only difference is I'm gonna set time
How
to
they see you.
I'm gonna set time to play something specific. Usually around Christmas time, I play my favorite game of all times, and that's how I know that my Christmas I finished my Christmas in a special way. So my best game of all times will always be Bloodborne. So I'm going to be not playing the entire game, but fighting bosses, the bosses of Bloodborne, and getting to certain sections. If not, then it will probably be Elden Ring again. Yes, I don't like Elden Ring any more than I like Dark Souls 2. I believe it's the third best of the Souls game, but I believe it's very high. I gave it a 9.6. So if I don't rock out Bloodborne, Elden Ring will be my third best third best Souls game, and my fifth best game of all times. So it goes as Bloodborne, Resident Evil
Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Bloodborne, Resident Evil 4, no, Resident Evil 2, and then it's, I believe it's Capcom versus SNK Millennium Fight 2001, and then it's Doom, the original Doom, which is my fourth, and the fifth, I believe, the fifth would probably be Elden Ring. If not Elden Ring, it will probably be uh, uh, I forgot the name of the game. It's
I
another
was
Capcom
wondering you
game.
gonna play some horror games.
Yeah, it's going to be a horror slash it's going to be a horror slash action game. And I was thinking what game is horror slash action for Christmas. And the only thing that makes sense that falls into both horror and action would be like a Resident Evil type game or a Evil Within type game or a Souls type game. So I was thinking the best thing that I should play right now should be Elden Ring because one is the most recent one. Two, I
Oh,
looked
that's
over
cool.
yeah, I looked over the past videos for Elden Ring and I realized they were all done on my PlayStation 4, which means my PlayStation 4 was dying, so there was a lot of drops. So it feels like I have to do that game over again on the PlayStation 5, a better system, because there was a lot of bugs and drops. So Elden Ring is phenomenal game. It's not better than my other two Souls game, but it's phenomenal. The music is phenomenal. The bosses are phenomenal. It's not better than to me than Doom Eternal, because Doom Eternal is badass. I was thinking about playing that, but I already played Doom 2016 this year. So I was thinking like, what's a game I know I could play for Christmas that I would enjoy from beginning to end and not get bored and die a lot. And the only thing that made sense was Elden Ring. I mean, it has a badass music soundtrack. From the moment you start it, it's like dun, 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 dun. It's like you know you're getting into some epic shit.
Like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could
It's
sabotage
beautiful.
them.
Good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce. Damn it! Why?
I should ask my cousin if we can play it.
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all.
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's as equally as powerful as Doom, Doom Eternal, or Doom 2016, or Resident Evil 2 remake, or Bloodborne. I have I have it right up there, either in my fifth slot as best game of all times or my sixth slot. I believe something else is in the fifth place, but it's in my top 10. It's incredibly epic. The boss
Sounds
fights.
like a cool game, Elden Ring.
Watch when I start playing it in Christmas. It's I'm going to die more times in that game than I did in, I believe, in Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3. Actually, I don't think I will, but I'm gonna die a lot. A lot. But it's not about death, it's about come at me, bro. And you charge directly towards them. And either they beat the shit out of
Okay.
you or you destroy them. So it's like a come at me, bro situation. You just charge into battle. It's like sieging the castle. Fighting a boss is like sieging the castle.
That
It's
allowing
epic.
the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict, one in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't fit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the bulldog wanted to prove...
It's more epic than this
Gonna
game.
see you kick butt.
Yeah.
And then it's on
It's,
foot. I know.
That map will surely be of use. I need to...
when I get to Star Scourge Radan, you'll see what I mean by epic.
Stream lagging a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm surprised the lag is still there, or I'm still playing. Thought my network would kick me by now. But once I fight Star Scourge Radahn, you'll see what I mean by epic. The Radahn fight is the culmination of probably the second best boss fight in all of Elden Ring history. Though some people find it easy, it's not about fighting him that's epic. It's about leading up to fighting him. His name sounds powerful. He looks powerful. He behaves powerful. He fights powerful. It's like fighting him is like fighting a god. Oh shit. How the hell did that happen?
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Radahn is like why is he standing up? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm failing a lot because I'm thinking about Radahn. But Radahn is like
those cannons are like to cause
it's like
trouble.
he's a giant.
Perhaps I could sabotage them.
He's a giant and a monster, and he carries like huge weapons, two double huge weapons. And he's called Star Scourge Radahn because he falls out of the sky in your first boss battle encounter like a comet, like a meteor that crashes to the ground. He first enters the arena by shooting like giant-sized projectile arrows that are larger than your body, like 7 of them that are larger than your body towards you, so you can't get near him. And once you get near him, you fight him. He whips up 2 double swords. Yeah, he's like I don't know how he's like a titan, like fighting a titan, a giant-sized person with 2 double giant-sized weapons. And when you get him to half health, he jumps up into the air, and then he does a one-shot ability. And if you don't get out the way of the one-shot, you die all the time. So the one-shot is a comet ability. He goes all the way up into the sky or into the stars, and you see like a falling meteor coming, and he is that falling meteor. He turns into a meteorite, and if you don't run out the way or dodge out the way fast enough, the meteorite that crashes on the ground one shots you. So his fight is like the most epic thing ever. That's why I'm thinking about playing Elden Ring for Christmas. It all depends on my mood at the time. I might actually find a game that I feel is better.
Making an impact.
General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict. One in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't sit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the bulldog wanted to prove a point.
Where is the general now? Rallying and then
Kamahid, I'm about to dip. Hope you succeed. Later, alligator.
Alright. Later. I'll probably have to jump on
Those cannons are
Warframe
like to
soon
cause
anyway,
trouble.
or
Perhaps
concentrate
I
on
could
this because I'm
sabotage
failing a
them.
lot.
Tell me good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict. One in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to
Later.
those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't sit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the Bulldog wanted to prove a point.
Where is the general now?
Rallying the troops.
And then it's on to Fort Duquesne, I assume?
Eventually. The march north will surely take time. There's a copy of the plans in the command tent should you wish to review them.
At least this will be ended soon.
I tried, John.
I know, my friend. I know.
That map will surely be of use. I need to find it. Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Tell me good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all.
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Tell me good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
friends to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict, one in which they'd now have the upper hand.
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict, one in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't sit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the bulldog wanted to prove a point.
Where is the general now?
Rallying the troops.
And then it's on to Fort Duquesne, I assume?
Eventually. The march north will surely take time. There's a copy of the plans in the command tent should you wish to review them.
At least this will be ended soon.
I tried, John.
I know, my friend. I know.
That map will surely be of use. I need to find it.
What news?
Braddock has left to rally his troops. They're marching on Fort Duquesne. It'll be a while yet till they're ready, which gives us time to form a plan.
No need. We will ambush him here near the river. Go and gather your allies. I will do the same. I will send word when it is time to strike.
The cold, cold ground.
Here, here.
Hard at work, I see.
How did you...
It is time. We've set up camp to the north. Meet me there.
Gentlemen, let us away.
First it was too cold. Now it's too goddamn hot.
And humid too. It's a right swamp, I tell you.
Aye, to say nothing of the mosquitoes.
Warm weather and bugs are soon to be the least of our worries.
What? Which would give us a man inside.
Precisely.
Unless you've underestimated our enemy.
If I have, Charles will sense it first. I see you've been busy.
All these men are from many different tribes, united in their desire to see Braddock sent away. The Abenaki, the Lenape, the Shawnee.
And you? Who do you stand for?
Myself.
What would you have me do?
Well, you will help the others to prepare. Follow. They come.
Everything all right, sir?
Just savoring the moment. No doubt, many wonder why it is we've pushed so far west. These are wild lands, as yet untamed and unsettled. But it shall not always be so. In time, our holdings will no longer suffice. And that day is closer than you think. We must ensure our people have ample room to grow and further prosper. Which means we need more land. The French understand this, and endeavor to prevent such growth. They skirt around our territory, erecting forts and forging alliances, awaiting the day they might strangle us with the noose they've built. This must not come to pass. We must sever the cord and send them back. This is why we ride, to offer them one last chance. The French will leave, or they will die.
Now's the time to strike.
Wait. To scatter the expedition is not enough. We must ensure that Braddock falls, else he's sure to try again. I'll disguise myself as one of his own and make my way to his side. Your ambush will provide the perfect cover for me to deliver the killing blow.
We await your signal.
There, in front of us.
Kill them!
With the French push back, there'll be a lot of opportunities for us up north.
Have served, you mean? Sir, you are
Edward. Not so fun on the other end of the barrel, is it?
Look out!
Sir. Where are you off to, Edward? I never took you for a coward, Edward.
Come on, then! Such arrogance. I always knew it would be the end of you. Is the end of you.
Don't. he gets away. I said go!
I don't deserve this! You're a hypocrite, Hatham!
I'm sorry, Edward, but you forced my hand.
Oh, damn it! Why, Hatham?
Your death opens a door. It's nothing personal. Well, maybe it is a little personal.